Welcome to Mr. Hemming's workshop. This video is a build tutorial for our Hoth Rebel Trooper or Luke cosplay goggles. The kit includes everything you see here to build these goggles. Let's get started in what's included in the kit. Frames, foam interface, visor, elastic mounts, top vents with red filter, head strap, and 2 sliders. Okay, the first step is to remove the sheen from the TPU. You want to rough the surface with some sandpaper, just the back of the goggles where the foam interface will be attached. Okay, now that you have removed the sheen from the back of the goggles, all the way around here, this flat surface, the next step will be attaching the elastic mount pieces to each slot on the sides of the goggles. This allows you to attach your head strap to the goggles. So what you'll need to do is spread this hole for the mount, because as you can see, the mount is larger than the hole. So you have to spread this. Spreading it will not damage the frame because the frame is made from TPU and it reverts back to its original shape. So the best way to do this, and the way I do it, is I use spring pliers set to spread when pressure is applied. I stick them in the back of the goggle or in through the inside of the frame and hold the mounting clip close to the goggles so that I am ready to insert them before the frame springs back into its original shape. So this is what you apply pressure, it'll spread the hole, and as soon as you release, it'll start to spring back, but it gives you some time to stick the clip here, this mount, quickly into that hole. So we're going to spread it, remove it, insert the clip. You may have to rock it back and forth a little bit. And there you go. That's one mount attached, as you can see, through the back. It has some flex here. And that's it. And as you can see, the shape of the goggles are starting to return to its original shape. Same thing, we'll just repeat that for the other side. All right, next step. Once you've done that, we want to glue the foam. This is the foam interface. It's made out of 1/2-inch foam, white foam, with before it's die cut, I glue a neoprene-like material to the back. This is the part that will be touching the face, and the foam gives you the comfort while wearing them. In the back of the goggles, we will apply barge cement on the entire back surface here that we've sanded. Then you can practice this before you put the glue so that you have a little bit of practice to it and you don't make a mistake, because it could get messy if you make a mistake. Once the glue is on, you can bend them a little bit to the shape of the goggles, and that helps. And the first thing that will be pressed on will be the nose, then the top, and then the sides. Okay, once the glue is on, this is what you will do. And this is, I've done this hundreds of times, and this is the best way to do it. I thought about creating a jig for this, and it's just, for me, it's just easier to attach it in these steps. So you can bend them, press the nose in first. Just by touching it, it's going to be very tacky, and it should stick immediately. Then the top, and then the sides. And that's it. And then you just hold it there until the glue sets a bit. And then once it sets, you can flip them around, and you'll see that it is attached evenly all the way around if you follow those steps. So let's do that. Let's get the barge cement ready. You can also, if you don't have barge cement, you should be able to use contact adhesive. You want to apply this, and you want it to stay wet. You don't want it to dry too quickly. So if your barge cement is already starting to dry out, you may have to thin it out so that it doesn't dry immediately. So you just want to apply it evenly around the frame, and it won't dry right away, but you don't want to spend forever applying the glue. Some people put the glue inside of a squeeze bottle, and that helps them with the with spreading it. They'll put it in a squeeze bottle and go all the way around with the squeeze bottle. So apply it. Just keep applying until you have it all the way around. Make sure it's touching the goggles. And if you get a little on there, you could just wipe it off quickly. On the shiny part, does not stick very well, but once you rough it up, it sticks very well. Okay, now the glue is on. Try to get as even as you can. As even as you can. There, the glue is now all the way around. And we're going to do the same thing like we did when we were practicing. We stick the nose in first, then the top, and then the sides. And we'll hold it there. Okay, I think we've held it enough. Then I'd like to turn them around and press the foam interface into the goggles a bit, not too hard, just enough to get some of that glue into the foam. Squeeze it here a little bit where the nose is, because there's a little bit of glue in there and there's a bend. Now, if it springs back, that's okay. Let it spring back a little bit, especially here where the nose is. You can let it spring back. You see it's not completely attached, but once that dries more thoroughly, you'll be able to, it now has glue on both ends, on the foam and on the plastic and on the TPU. So you just press it again once it dries a little bit more, and now both sides will be sticky, and they'll stick to itself. So you just go around, you press it in, and that's pretty much it. The foam is on, and you could make some adjustments while it is a little wet. It won't move much, but you can make slight adjustments if you'd like, if you're not happy with the way it comes out immediately when you would attach. But that's basically it. All right. Now the foam is on there. See, now it sticks better. There you go. We're going to let this dry for 5 minutes. We're going to come back and we're going to press the foam in one more time. We're going to squeeze the foam one more time. So let's let this set this way. We'll come back in 5 minutes. Okay, after 5 minutes have passed, you can inspect your foam interface in your goggles to see how well it has adhered. You give it a little press. Now that the glue on both sides, on the foam side and on the goggle side, are dry and dry enough to stick to itself, just give it another quick press so we know that it's secure. Press it all the way around in the bridge of the nose especially. And that's it. They're on there good, nice and tight. Don't tug too hard while it's still not 100% dry. It's best not to tug too hard, but if you tug a little bit just to see if it separates at all, and it's not, so we know that it's secure. Okay, after that, the next step is to sew the strap. The head strap, we need to sew the head strap onto one side of the mount and make a finish stitch on the other side of the strap in order to fish it through the sliders and the other mount. So let's do that. We'll do that over at the sewing machine. Okay, now we're at the sewing machine. We want to start our strap by folding a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch of the elastic over, and we're going to apply a stitch straight down this bend. We'll start with a lock, sew straight down, lock this end as well. Cut the extra string off. So you should wind up with one end like this. The other end, we're going to sew, just a minute. Okay, so you should wind up with a stitch like this. It's folded over and stitched. Take your goggles. You're going to pass the elastic through one of the mounts and fold it over. And it should look like this once folded over. Okay, you're folding it over about an inch, maybe an inch and an eighth. Okay, the next thing you want to do is sew this shut. So we're going to do that. We're putting the goggles in the machine with the strap attached to the mount, and I'll try to do this so you can see. We'll start it by locking the end and then sewing straight through and locking that end. Okay. All right, so now it should look like this. And just cut the excess string off. Okay. Now that excess string is cut off, this side is complete. It's attached to the elastic mount. Now we want to finish the other end So you're going to, when this is placed through, it'll be placed through this side, wrapped around, and folded back. So we want to make sure that this side of the elastic has a finished end. So what we'll do is, we know that this is the side we want the finished end. We will fold it over once and fold it over twice. So, and we'll hold it down. So we have it folded over once and then twice. Right in the center, place the needle on the elastic right in the center. We'll do the same thing. We'll lock it forwards, backwards, forward again. Let it run through the length of the elastic. Lock the back, the other end. Okay, so now we have a finished end here. Okay, that's what it looks like. We have a finished end here, a little wonky, but you're not going to see this side. It's going to be bent this way. And that side looks pretty good. Okay, let's take it back over to the workbench. Let's take this back over to the workbench and fish the elastic through the mounts and the sliders. Once you have this attached, it's sewn on, and this end finished, you're ready for the next step, which is the sliders. To start, we can start with the goggles facing down. As you can see, goggles facing down, you're turning the strap over as like it would be attached to your head. Start with the slider, fishing it through the bottom of the slider and the top of the slider. That's one slider. And take the second slider, fish it through one end, from the bottom, then from the top of the other end. So when you complete this task, it should look like this. Okay, now we're going to fish this end through here, through the mount. It's a little difficult. Okay, pull it through that mount. Let me slide these over a little bit more. Okay, now that you have it through that mount, you could loop it back around through the bottom of the slider, the top of the slider. Same thing with the second slider, bottom, top. Okay, and then make whatever adjustments you'd like. Okay, so now we have one slider, two sliders. This will keep the elastic together evenly on the goggles. Okay, now that you've done that, the next step is to attach the top vents. And before we do that, we have to make them. Kit includes two vents printed in TPU. There's a left and right. So looking through the goggles, there's a left and right. And the way you know the surefire way to install these correctly is that there's a dull end and a shiny end. The dull ends will face each other when they're pressed into the holes of the goggles. Okay, but first, let's make them. We use a red filter material that you'll have to cut the size and place inside the channel of the vent. And so the best way to do this is to start it by, you squeeze the tip a little bit, push it into, there's a little bit of a cavity in this area. You could even use a little screwdriver to press the sponge in place, to push it into place underneath this area here. Then you will push the filter in as you go toward one side. You see where it's about to end there, and you cut it. Okay, this is what it'll look like, and you can push the filter into place. Just hook it a little bit with a screwdriver if you need to. I'd need to. My hands are too big for this little part here. And there you go. You can feel it when it hits the end. It doesn't want to go anymore. Then you just push the filter in. Push the filter right into the vent. As you can see, there's a lip here at the edge of the vent, and once you push it in, it catches that lip and locks itself into place. And there you go. That's one vent, and we're going to do that again for the second one. Okay. All right. Now that that's done, we want to attach the filters to the goggle frame. Like I said, the dull side will be facing each other. That way you don't, since they're so close together, it's very unlikely to see the dull end. You'll just see the shiny end. And that's how you know you're putting them on right. So the dull end facing in, facing the center of the goggle. What you do is there's a tab here that will get pushed into this slot. So you just line this up, push that in on one side, line it up, push it in on that side. Okay, simple as that. Same thing here, line it up, push it in. This will snap into place. Now both filters are attached. Okay, now that both filters are in and in place, as you could see, these are flexible. I should have shown that in the beginning, but they are flexible. They can be twisted, bent. They're flexible. They're a little bit more rigid than your goggles that you would purchase manufactured. These are printed in TPU, high-speed TPU, which have a little bit of a higher shore hardness. But for cosplay purposes, they're very flexible, and the interface also will conform to your face if you don't get enough flex, depending on how what shape head you have, or how big or how small. Okay, the next step now is to attach the visor. So let's get a visor, but before I attach the visor, I'd like to before I attach the visor, I do like to wear a pair of gloves. So let me get a pair of gloves. Okay. I like to wear a pair of gloves when I'm attaching the visor, because I don't want to get too much smudge on the visor while I'm attaching it. It just I do this because when I sell them, I want them to be pristine, and I'm sure you want them pristine to start off with as well. Okay, so you take the included visor. The first thing I do is slide it into the nose area, but I don't lock it into place just yet. I just keep it there, and it holds the visor while I'm sliding it through the rest of the goggle. So what I'll do is I'll start by inserting it into the groove on this side. Uh, they do have cutouts for locks here, here, and on both sides of the nose. So you want to not worry about that in the beginning, because all you're really trying to do right now is push the visor into the groove. Okay, once you have the entire visor pushed into the groove, you see it's a little difficult, not impossible. Okay, now it's in the groove. Now I press the, you can hear, I don't know if you could hear it snap into place, but it snapped into place there. And to snap it into place where it is attached to the bridge, just make sure it's in the groove before you do this. You want to squeeze the bridge towards the top of the goggle, and that will push the plastic up real tight. And this side, just give it a squeeze. You could feel it when it snaps into place. There you go. And that's it. Now that the visor is attached and snapped into place, it's complete. And that's how you put this kit together. And as you can see, it's still flexible. You can twist them, bend them. So they are relatively functional. I would not wear these for actual skiing. I would just use these for cosplay. They are supposed to mimic the swan ski goggles that were used in the movie. You might get some lint here. You just get a little lint brush and, or just wipe off the lint by hand, but whatever. Yeah, so that's how you do it. That's how you assemble the Hoth goggles from the kit. That's it. That's how you put together the kit. So you should wind up with this same pair, just like that. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.